And you're live.
Hi everyone, Terry Berland here, casting director. Welcome. The other day I took you through the beginnings of a casting session. I brought you into Castaway Studios where I cast and introduced you to my session runner. That's the person outside of the casting room who checks you in, the session director, who's the person inside who is giving you directions and running the camera. And for that particular casting session, my clients were here. So everything was done in one day. And for this particular casting session, so I want to bring you through the callback day, because even though this was a first session, it's treated like a callback because the client is here. And they are the people who are part of the selection process. We actually had a pre-question, and by the way, as you come online, please ask me any questions. And Sam, who's here with me. Oh, do we have one?
Everyone's just saying hi.
Oh, hi. Great. So Gabriel Swanland, I don't know where Gabriel's from. If you're online yet, you can let us know where you're from. He is asking, are the people called back exclusively chosen by casting, or has the director client seen all the tapes and made the selects as well? Actually, casting is not part of the selection process. We bring you in the beginning. We sought out the people who we feel would be good for the part for our director to see. And then there's a process of, it could be as much as 8 people, as many as 8 people choosing you, and the casting director is not one of them. Excuse me, I'm not sick. It's allergies. So this particular session, this is a printout of our log sheets. Oh, excuse me. I didn't bring any water with me. We had almost 200 people at this casting session. But I can tell you, by breaking it down, because of all the different characters, really, each category, the people, all you actors were only in competition with 30 people. So there were 30 people in each category, but when you come into one of these casting sessions and you see the sign-in sheets, and especially if it's towards the end of the day and you see it's 200 people, you think, oh my gosh, I'm up against so many people. But no, you're not. In this case, you were really up against only 30 people in each category. So just trust that, do your best job, and don't let your head play games with you and start thinking about they're better than you, or you're up against so many people. Any of those negative thoughts you want to learn how to get rid of.
We got a question from the username Good King.
Hi, Good King.
She asked, how do you view submissions, alphabetically or by agency?
So how do we view submissions, alphabetically or by agency? I just, however they come up on my screen, and we view in different ways. For instance, this job was only one character had 4 words. Otherwise, it was really just a look. Each of these characters, this particular client, and I'm not mentioning the name, but they go with crazy fun visuals that play against the main character. So I scan each picture, and then if someone looks right and I want to look further, I click into your profile and I can see more pictures. If I will tell you, if there's a special skill, I have 4,000 to look through, write a note. Just say it's yoga. And just say your resume has yoga all over the place. You will stand out if in your note to us, which we see, expert yoga. Then I'll go right to that and click into it. Also, if you have a picture doing your special skill, that should be your main photo that you put up for the particular breakdown. So these are little tricks. I write blogs, by the way, for casting networks, and I cover probably any question that you're going to ask, and you can go to actually terryberlandworkshops.com, and then there's a drop down for blogs, and I write on camera and voiceover blogs, so you can see a lot of these, a lot of information there. That's terryberlandworkshops.com.
We have another question.
Oh, another question, great.
This is from Natalie, and she says, what is a casting director looking for before callbacks? I'm from Cleveland, Ohio.
Hi, Natalie from Cleveland. Welcome. Well, for commercials, first of all, commercials, you would have to be local to where you're submitting, unless we make it really clear that we're doing a nationwide search. Because for commercials, the call is the next day. Or for this job that I'm referring to, actually, once we started the casting, the director and producer realized that they were off on one of the characters. So actually, I just went to breakdown, put in a new character, and what I'm trying to say is that casting was for the same day. So we got people to come in later that day. So you really do have to be local for commercials. And having said that, if it's a look, we look for a look. If there's acting, we look for a look, and then we'll click into your resume and we look for the acting on your resume. Reels are very, very important. We look at your reel. You know, this is 2020, and I've been saying this for years. Have a reel, have something moving. So going back to the process of the callback, so in our office here, Samantha and I, Samantha's my assistant, and she's behind the cameras there, we actually print out a size card for every actor that's coming in, and when you come in to the audition, we bring you in, we have your size card, we hand your size card to the director. So then after you audition, your size card will go into a yes, maybe pile and a no pile. And then at the end of the casting session, they actually review everybody in the yes, maybe pile, and they get a better feel for, they really, really hone in on specifics and nuances of what they're looking for. And then in this particular casting session, they were the decision makers, so they then had us edit at the end of the day their first choice and backups, which they sent to the client. On other kind of jobs, it could go through back to the ad agency and go through, like I mentioned earlier, 8 different characters. Do you know, in a couple of months, I actually have an online course. It's like a 40-minute course where we actually visually take you through the entire process, and we take you inside the callback room after you leave, and we take you through the selection process. It is invaluable. I'm really excited to have that coming out soon. I think we have another question.
We do. From Tamar, your old student.
Hi, Tamar.
She says, hi, Terry.
Hi, I see you on Instagram all the time. I love following you.
She says, how do we stay on your radar so you think of us to call in for an audition?
Well, I hope everyone heard that. First of all, I said, hi, I see you on Instagram all the time. And then Tamar just asked, how do we stay on your radar? Well, social media. That's one way. Also, postcards, picture postcards. I have a whole pile of them over there. Can you just go over there and just, do you mind just getting some of those, that pile there? And so you, every couple of months, you send the casting director a picture postcard with information on it. And I have these to go through. They're really easy and quick to go through. And, you know, about every 3 months, so 4 times a year, you stay on our radar. Oh my goodness. I hope we didn't hurt anyone.
Sorry, guys.
Wow. That's never happened before. We've done this so much. I wonder what's going on. Sorry. We, whoa, wait, that threw me.
Photo cards.
Oh, yeah. So that's a reminder. I don't know, I lost my train of thought. That's a great reminder.
We have a few questions.
Great.
Stunt Guzman Actor asks,
Hi, Stunt Guzman Actor.
do you do video auditions from out-of-state actors?
I assume you're out of state, and that's why you're asking. That's more for film and television if they do national searches, which can happen a lot. But for commercials, no. Because of what I just said before, the auditions are the next day. And they're so quick, and we see volumes, so actually not for commercials. I'm a big believer in, I have the book Breaking Into Commercials. It's on its 3rd edition, and you'll see in that book, I'm a big believer of really finding the work where you are. There's not as much in, you know, many cities, but there is work there, and really conquer where you're at. Yeah, and find all the work where you're at.
That's great.
Okay.
We have another question from the username Good King again.
Hi, Good King.
And she asks, is it best to wear the same exact outfit for the callback?
You know, the last couple of years, my answer is yes, it is. I can't tell you how many, and there's another casting director I work with and teach with and for in actually the Miami area, Lori Wyman. And if you're watching, Lori, hi. And we both, we were answering questions together, and we both agreed, and now I hear all the casting directors agreeing, yes, wear the same outfit. They love the woman with the red blouse, and she didn't wear the red blouse on the callback. Where's that woman with the red blouse? Like, why didn't she come in? Well, she did. She was just wearing a different color today. So my answer the last couple of years is yes, actually wear the same outfit, especially the women. Yeah.
Okay. James asks, What percent of casting sessions include or feature actors over 60? Asking for me.
Hi, James. There's a lot. I can't actually tell you the percentage, but any age will be asked for commercials. What tends to happen after 60 is, unfortunately, you start getting into the medications, insurances, things like that. But what's the difference? If you love doing this, you go after it, and there'll be something for you. Yeah.
Samantha asks, is personality a big factor in an audition aside from the audition itself?
Hi, Samantha. Absolutely. Personality is important. How you walk in the room is important. How you look and connect when they're giving you direction is important. How, if you're having a meeting with an agent, how your personality when you meet with the agent. Personality, especially for commercials, is very, very important. And most of the time, and the way that I teach is we find your strongest personality, like what empowers you in your personality, and we bring that out because it's not about the words. This is how I teach. It's not about the words. They already have their words. Who is saying these words? And then we get into their philosophy of selling. And if you noticed, I said their philosophy of selling. They are selling something, but you are not. They are using you to sell. Using you to sell. So I do teach. In fact, we just finished a workshop. I think about 5 of those people in that workshop who didn't have agents, I think they're going to have an agent soon. And I actually have another workshop, my next one coming up Tuesday, March 3rd. Tuesdays it's a 6-week workshop and 5 weeks with me, and then there is an agent educational evening. So go to go to Terry Berland Workshops, terryberlandworkshops.com, and there's still room in that Tuesday workshop. And I do teach, this goes back to the question of personality, I teach it based on, you should approach a commercial as with basic acting, fundamental acting, based on short scene study. Commercials are a short scene, and in a short scene, it's your personality, how to make it come alive. I teach the very first night how to make 6 words, how to make a scene out of 6 words, and who are you in that scene? And with those 6 words, a personality has to come out. You have to be able to reveal your personality. So that I have techniques for that. And we start Tuesday, terryberlandworkshops.com. And did any more questions come in?
Yep.
Oh, great.
Mary Charles Miller.
Hey, Mary Charles.
She asks, hi, Terry.
My star.
Glad to see you. Miss you. Does what I post on social media on Instagram and Facebook matter to casting directors? Am I supposed to be posting only work content, or can I post personal content as well?
Yes, you can post personal content. However, and I know you wouldn't do this, but when people start posting booty shots and not nudity, but sometimes some of the guys, will be wearing G-strings or something. I would say stay away from stuff like that. But it's always, I know people want to know more about my life. And I know I don't put too much about my life, except I go to a lot of theater, so they see me out and about town. But whenever you read anything about good social media, it's always said that people like to know something about yourself. And as a casting director, I love seeing your work, but I'll also love to see with your hiking, you know, or out with your friends every once in a while. But, you know, it should be within the realm of who you are, so to speak. Any more?
Christina asks,
Hi, Christina.
is there a trend look right now?
Is there a trend look? Not in commercials. Well, the trend is ethnically ambiguous. There's more work for that now than the, person who's not ethnically ambiguous. But other than that, no, commercials are just real, very real looking, let's put it that way. And that's not to say that there is not work for others. That's what's so interesting about commercials. They come and go very fast. Anything else?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what?
The username EEPhotoG asks,
Hi,
I would
EE.
love to get into voiceover. My voice is deep, smooth, and appealing. I have a demo, but what's my next step? Please help.
Oh, okay. Hi there. I do cast a lot of voiceovers. I teach voiceovers too. Well, if you have a demo, you know what your voice is, who your voice is, you know your branding, hopefully if you have a demo by that time. And you have to go after agents, and you should have a website, and then there are a lot of online voiceover type breakdown places. I don't know how much they charge. They are pay to play. You have to, pay something a year, and you can get lots of auditions through that.
James asks,
Hi, James.
how should I get started with acting if I'm located in Atlanta?
Oh, James, there's so much going on in Atlanta. I'd say just Google workshops in Atlanta. There's a lot going on there now. Yes.
Claudia asks, how much is your workshop?
Hi, Claudia. My on-camera workshop is $395. That's for 6 weeks. 5 weeks with me. The last week is an agent educational evening, purely educational. The next one's Tuesday nights. Next Tuesday it starts March 3rd. There are a couple of spots left, and you can go to terryberlandworkshops.com. Oh, and there's great, if you miss one, because we expect that some, people work sometimes, hopefully not, but sometimes you get ill, and we make it easy for you as actors, not difficult, and so within a year you can make up classes.
I'm getting a lot of hearts.
Oh, hearts back to you.
Celeste asks, how can I relaunch my acting career in my 30s?
Oh, I get people all the time relaunching their career. If you're in LA, come on and take my workshop Tuesday, and we'll get you all sharpened up. And oh my goodness, I have so many people relaunching in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. So that's easy. That's real easy.
Brock asks, or he says, hi Terry.
Hi, Brock.
Recently had a chance to audition for you in person for a VO. Do you have a preference in person or digital submissions?
Well, as casting directors, we would rather have you in person. We get to direct you. But we have you in person when we can, and when we can't, we'll, have you send them in. Send in your auditions. I will give you a tip when you send in the auditions. In fact, my next blog for Backstage is going to be about that. And it's follow the directions very carefully. And that blog is going to be about basically, if you don't follow the direction, how to, once you have a good read, have it actually get submitted to the next level.
We have a lot of people asking if you're going to open up an office in New York.
No, do you know, I originally come from New York. My entire beginnings of casting was in New York. And I've been out here, and I'm not going to reopen in New York, but we could do online stuff together. Just get in touch with us. The email is info at berlandcasting.com if anyone wants something online. I put them together quite frequently. Info at berlandcasting.com. Hi, New York.
Yvonne asks, if we see you are casting for a specific project, is it better to email you directly in regards to the project, or shall we leave it to our agent?
Do you know, some agents give you free range. Okay, when we put out a breakdown, we have a choice. We can put it out to agents and not directly to talent, or we can put it out to talent also. Choice is ours. So some agents give their clients free range. Sure, it's called self-submit. Sure, self-submit. And other agents do not like you to do that at all. So you have to know what your agent wants and how to work best with your agent. Having said that, when your two pictures will come to us, the two submissions will come to us together. And when I see one directly from you and one from your agent, I will give it to your agent. Because you know what? Even if you book this directly, you still have to give your agent 10%. Your agent is working for you all the time, every day, so they get the 10%. You have to report to them if you got something directly and not through them.
Celeste asks, what would be the first 3 steps to launch a voiceover career?
Hi, Celeste. You have to know the basics, the core basics. I do teach core basics with Nico Mana. We have one coming up, I think in 2 months. Follow us on Instagram, which you do, or Facebook, and you'll see the dates. And so basically you have to learn the fundamentals first. And then you build on that to an intermediate level where there's lots and lots of lessons in there of basically how to interpret copy, how to understand your voice, how to put your voice to this copy. And then the advanced, which you should be branding yourself, meaning you know who you are, you know what your voice does, you understand copy completely, and to just cut to the chase, you stand up in front of the mic in a different way. You embrace, you lend your voice to the entire emotional feel of the spot, and you lend your voice actually to the visual of the spot too, because your voice has a feel to it. For instance, if there's a lot of, just say it's a room interior, white flowing material, there's a certain way that you would tone that you would use for that, as opposed to a fast food restaurant with bright yellows and bright blues and bright music. You know, there's a different tone for that. So you have to, really get to know yourself.
Your cousin David says hi.
David! Hi, David.
The username McToyStory asks, as a performer that wants to branch out to do TV film without representation, what's the easiest way to do it?
TV and film probably, whoever that is, means. Well, we put breakdowns out directly to actors, so that would be the way. If you're just breaking in, I'm not sure where you're located. Certainly New York and LA have amazing film schools. And so does Florida, actually. And so does the Chicago area. So you could get student films that are very, very, very high quality. I cast a lot of very, very high quality thesis films, actually. So it's a great way to get started and build up your reel, because you want a reel.
Everybody's thanking you for all of this.
I thank everyone for joining me. I think it's time to wrap up now. Is there any questions that are still left over? If not, we'll wrap up. Maybe I'll see some of you Tuesday.
Someone was asking if you're going to start online classes.
Yeah, email us, info at berlandcasting.com. We'll see where you're located and see what we can do. But those of you in LA, there's still room Tuesday, so come on and jump in.
Great. Okay. And people are requesting that we do more of these.
You know what? We will. We're going to do more. I really want to give you tips, and I really want to help you.
Okay.
Okay.